Let's talk a little bit about some of the ways beyond coins now that parkers can pay for their parking.
What we have seen as card payments, and specifically around pay stations, as well as some of them in this case the street parking. But I think the most interesting ones are the ones that are still being funded by a credit card payment. Is this different kind of QR code kind of payments, as well as text to pay, which is a very simple and easy use solution that drives the usage in many ways.
We continue to see demand for additional solutions, environments, what we call multi-app environments, where a city would want multiple mobile applications that are all facilitating transactions for the same parking rights, and see all of these apps condensed into a more palatable way to extract insights and make policy changes. I think it's beyond just payment solutions and becomes an integral process for how cities can evolve for the future.
What have you seen in terms of the evolution of, say, Apple Pay and Google Pay and the relative shares that they're taking from first from coin and cash, then from credit and debit?
Something that we typically don't talk about in so many cases is that what is the card program somebody's paying with? You put a card in Apple Pay and Google Pay and you pay with that, but then the acceptance piece of it, there's a certain different prices that the networks and the issuing banks are charging for, which what we call interchange, depending on the card program.
That's where we start to see that impact of choice and how we can make payment options accessible for every citizen.
In order to be inclusive and recognize the diversity of a constituent base, that we have to still accommodate cash payments.
We have to, in that case, serve all our constituents and the whole population, in addition to our digital pieces and digital solutions, and maybe tie them together. I always say, going forward, I think, and that's why a lot of these, evolution is getting to it, that people are going to use their phones because they're realizing it's much more secure.
And by easing the burden to pay, you're going to increase compliance, and by increasing compliance, you're going to generate more revenue for the city. So these kinds of solutions can equally benefit the citizen as well as the city.
What options do citizens presently have to make payments for permits and enforcement, and where do we see that going in the future?
And that's exactly what our portal solution is driving toward. It's powering all of our different modular solutions and being the one place that a city needs to manage any mobility payment. Passport's focused on providing a platform that becomes a one-stop for managing rules, rates, and restrictions for parking, to boost payment compliance for parking, but then on top of that, become future-proof for innovation with a model that scales and that starts to expand beyond just the curb and into some of those other modalities. And so we're consolidating payments for the city, but also consolidating that experience for the user.